So Terence Bud Crawford's sister, Letitia Crawford, sounds off on YouTubers just basically going out of their way to hate on Terence Bud Crawford. It's been very evident to me from the jump street, and it's just got worse as the fight got closer. And the propaganda and the stuff that they push at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous. And it leaves everybody else scratching their head like, why go this much out of your way to dislike Terence Bud Crawford? It's something that we all can't figure out, and I couldn't wrap my head around it either, and it's just amazing the energy that they put in hating or disliking or putting up propaganda or the lies that they put on Terence Bud Crawford. And at the end of the day, Terence Bud Crawford is a fighter that you always wish came along in your era. Terence Bud Crawford has the attitude that most, boxing fans complain about is absent in boxing. And the funny thing is, once you finally get it, this is the type of treatment those people get. And like I said, we live in a hyper feminine society, where dudes are overly emotional. We got aerosexuals, and plus we got these YouTubers out here that just go out of their way to talk shit. And she goes on to basically tell you the 3 channels that she talking about, because Shady Slim puts it out there. He says Fanny, Boxing Ego, and Blue Blood, some of the main dick riders. And we also can't forget Fanny, Nanny, so it's more than just those 3. But it's like, my God, at the end of the day, it's like, do you want to see the fight or not see the fight? And everybody acts like they got the inside scoop, and everybody acts like this. I've also learned to wait stuff out and wait till stuff flushes out, because there's too much. Number one, there's too much false stuff just floating around YouTube, and a lot of that is people are toying with the emotion of overly emotional boxing fans, and basically transforming that into a form of revenue, because a lot of boxing fans or fanboys are weak-minded, and they're willing to believe and run with any propaganda that people put out here. This is why I say, do not come over here talking or regurgitating talking points from these YouTube channels, because number one, it makes you look ignorant. Number two, it's not true at all. 3, it's a sign of low intelligence and just hatred at the end of the day. Like I said, a lot of this stuff that I can't even put into words, but the main thing that I'm going to stand on at the end of the day is Terence Bud Crawford is what you want in boxing. That's what you want. And then when we get these guys, people try to clown them or create stuff that's not true about them, but they'll fanboy and protect people who don't want to fight, who's made excuses for fights and all this other kind of stuff. And it just doesn't make no sense. It's just simply astonishing at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's just simply astonishing. And yeah, people like that do need to be called out. Now we all know it doesn't make much of a difference to overzealous fanboys, but at the end of the day, some people are still getting warmed up to the sport of boxing, are still being introduced to the sport of boxing, are still coming in and curious about the sport of boxing. And I believe sometimes they come in the front door and go right out the back door, because they step into the house and just see it's a complete mess. They don't know what to believe. They don't know what's going on. They just see a whole bunch of people not wanting to fight, people fighting with people who do want to see fights. And I thought this was the fight game, and I thought we're all here for entertainment. So are you entertained? And most people are not. And most people say, skip this. I'm just go back to UFC, where it's much more simpler at the end of the day. I easily see that happening on a regular basis, because both sports share like interests when it comes to people who like fights. I mean, I love UFC, and I don't see nobody who like UFC not liking at least some boxing matches at the end of the day. But, you know, the difference is those fights get made because they're forced to get made. Those guys ain't scared to fight. And, you know, they really don't have a choice because it's really only one stop shop in town, you know. And with boxing, it's just too much theatrics and theatricals and all this other crap. It's make believe. It's a soap opera. It's a sitcom. It's acting. It's not real. It's fakery. It's fuckery. It's all kind of shit, man. And it turns people off, man. It really does turn people off. That's why I say at the end of the day, I don't know how you guys can even watch these channels at the end of the day. I really don't, because their content is trash. They provide nothing to you but made up stories that they conjured up on their way from waking up from the bed, walking to the bathroom, and then they come back and spew that crap on, you know, the internet and on YouTube. And then they arm these idiots to run around here to say just flat out stupid shit. And the question that everybody keeps on asking is, do you just want to see the fight? Stop talking about money you know nothing about. Stop asking people to accept this and accept that, because they'll tell you all the time in negotiations, you don't get what you're worth, you get what you can negotiate. And the negotiations at the end of the day is something that's left up to the fighters, their management and stuff like that. As boxing fans, we should not be concerned with that talk. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we didn't bring up these conversations. I didn't hear these conversations with my father and my uncle when they watched boxing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Mike Tyson, Ali getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Hagler getting paid. You know, that wasn't it. It's just that they wanted to see these two fight. This guy's a badass. That guy's a badass. Well, let's put them together and see, you know what I'm saying, who's really the badass. That was about the extent of the conversation at the end of the day. It wasn't all this crap. And, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Letitia Crawford need to be Terence Bud Crawford promoted. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people was like, well, why are you so quick to listen to her if she says something? Because for the time that she has been on Twitter or whatever and whatnot, I've been watching what she's been saying, and she's been on point almost every single time. You know, and she says the stuff that at the eye of the time, I believe Terence Crawford should say. But, you know what I'm saying, with a sister like that, he doesn't have to. And she ain't doing nothing but talking the gospel. And it's just flat out fucking disgusting. You know what I'm saying? People hate this man like it's personal. Errol Spence fanatics take this stuff like it's personal. They have something personal against them. And it's like a corrosion of the mind. That's why I say a lot of these Errol Spence fanatics and stuff like that, they ex-Deontay Wilder fans. You know? And these boxing channels is doing nothing but taking advantage of their emotions for, I don't know, views and revenue and whatever and whatnot. That's why I say, man, at the end of the day, people can say what they want, or they could dislike my style of doing this or my style of doing that. I've always remained and stuck by the truth and never gave nothing more and nothing less, regardless if people didn't want to hear it, regardless if it didn't make me popular, regardless if it cost me some subscribers, regardless if it cost me some views, or regardless of you just didn't like my delivery. At the end of the day, it was the truth, and I'll provide the truth. I'll show you how I got there. I show you what sources I use, you know what I'm saying? If not just an all-out roadmap to figuring everything out. And sometimes in videos, I don't even have to talk. You know what I'm saying? I let the evidence speak for itself at the end of the day. And that's how, to me, I always judge the quality of somebody's content, you know, and that's if you're doing commentary or something like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, most boxing channels are not created equal, and most people don't want to hear truth at the end of the day. You know, but shout out to Letitia Crawford, you know what I'm saying, for staying on her grind and keeping the shit real out here and helping clear the air where the air need to be cleared and calling out the clowns that need to be called out. That's how I feel at the end of the day. That's my thoughts on the subject. Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Vane, I'm out.